Well, howdy, people, and welcome to another Saturday night in Coin Toss, which we now is all associated with the good old 2-up from back in the days of the past. That's where the title come from. So in case all of those who were wondering, and our wonderful guest who viewed us last week and was kind enough to get herself some tickets, so hopefully she does well. I'd like to say hey to Pete from Pinaroo. Good to see you on here, mate. That's nice to know. I'm going to let Mark do most of the talking tonight because I've had a rather busy week doing lots of various bits and pieces, including getting a presentation ready for tomorrow, where I'm trying to help people understand how to detect internet scams and fake emails and fake websites and how to get out of that wonderful thing where it blocks up your browser and says, hey, call this number. And I'm going to show them tricks on how to get around all of that sort of stuff. So I've been flat out doing that. So I haven't done a lot of research at all. Now, last week, we tried desperately to play a video from our winner of the Voice of Freedom FBN raffle, which we have going for the Donkey Sanctuary. And I didn't have much success because for some reason my virtual machine, which I use in here, doesn't like to actually transfer the audio across. So I've got a little bit sneaky today. We know it works fine at Mark's end, but it just doesn't work at mine. So this is from Phil Cooker, and this is what he had to say.
Hello, Voice of Freedom family. Phil Cooker here, winner of the Voice of Freedom Lottery. I tell you what, everyone, this blessing couldn't have come at a better time. I'm going to use this blessing to help out a bill situation, but I'm also going to treat myself a little bit with a little something from Ainsley Bullion. I just want to say thank you and God bless the Voice of Freedom. God bless the Good Samaritan Donkey Sanctuary for all the good work they do, and just say a huge thank you to Carl, to Vince, and to Sandy. God bless you all, and thank you for this blessing of this lot.
I'm putting him up there twice. Give Phil a double showing, one for last week and one for this week. Say hello, Mark.
Hey guys, hey Vince. It's good to be back. It's been a long week too for me. It's been a lot of work. We might go down hopefully we don't go down too many dark, deep holes tonight if I'm doing a lot of the talking, but I'll try and keep it not too conspiratorial. But yeah, it should be a good show. We've had lots of good news with goings on this week. Not lots and lots, but big news just in a couple of stories, and the market itself, I suppose, has been exploding again, which is always fun to talk about. So,
yeah, I was literally just telling Mark before we got on the show that I bought into one of the XRP meme coins, which is called Phoenix, because XRP forever seems to be rising from the dead. And I thought, well, why not, take a little bit and go and do that. And I was just sort of showing him that and explaining when it first came out, I bought some and effectively spent about $50, and it got up to $250 a coin, and then did the wonderful thing that most crypto always does and went crunch. Right? But it's now back up. I'm back in profit for that, which is pretty amazing, which actually raises the whole point about XRP. Did you know we hit an all-time high?
Yeah. Of all the people, I definitely know.
I sort of figured you would. You're an XRP fanatic. So
I've been watching it like a hawk, back to the days where you're constantly just checking your phone and going, where's it at now? Where's it at now? It's been fun. You got to enjoy those times because we spent a lot of time down in the dumps. So
and that's actually the chart for the max for the year. And over here was where we hit the first all-time high, which was $3.40 odd cents. And look at it now. It's currently $3.43, but it's been higher. got up to 358 at one stage. So, you know, I know Mark's got bags and bags and bags of XRP. So some of you guys in the chat may have to start trying to see if you can get him to give some of it away. Maybe. I don't know if he would or not.
Maybe in 10 years.
Right. But there's also plenty of other things that are happening in that front. There's lots of other cryptos that are moving. Interestingly enough, Bitcoin hasn't really, it's been up at 118,000. It's been higher than that. But it's interesting to see now that some of the altcoins are starting to run. For instance, XRP, even Ethereum, as much as I don't like Ethereum, right? It's making its way, and they're guessing that's going to get up around the 4,000 pretty soon. Dogecoin's making some moves again. It's gone up quite significantly, as we can see here. So I'm pretty happy about that because I have some of those. This list, by the way, is just some of the ones that I'm following. And as you can see, I'm a really good pick of some things. Right. And here's another one. Although, considering I haven't paid a cent for any of those, so I'm okay there. And I don't know what's going on with Sia Coin, which is really interesting. Sia Coin's one of those platform sort of YouTube or file storage platforms. So I don't know what's going on with that. There must be some news about that. Excuse me. So I just thought I'd do a quick look through and see what it is, but there's some reasonable moves in the market. Some of these are going quite well. UFO Gaming, which is one of the ones I'm following in the gaming, is going really well. Shrapnel, however, unfortunately is not. You know, but you don't know. Deepfake IA, Deepfake AI is another one that I looked at. Probably not the best AI section to choose, but at the time when I looked at those, they were. Reason why I like that particular project was because their goal is a way to try and identify deepfakes. So I thought that was an interesting project. Anyway,
they might have some legs.
Sorry,
they might have some legs.
Mm.
That's an interesting concept, though. A very interesting concept.
Yeah, which is what caught my attention on it.
Yeah,
Mark, what have you got for us, mate? What can you tell us?
While we're doing some price stuff on some of the coins, I just shared, if you want to bring up the price screen that I've got. Yeah, good stuff. We're working. All right. So we're on, this is XRP. This is just through TradingView. This is XRP USD. So this is, your all-time high up here, which was, $3. I'd have to shrink it down. What do we got? $3.60 or something. $3.68 on Bitstamp I'm on. And I just wanted to show more just that a comparison between this and XLM, because XLM, all you XLM holders out there, get ready because you're probably going to go all-time highs very soon too. This is 7 years of consolidation here, and now we've gone this is probably A, and we're probably going to go into B now, which can get pretty violent. XRP holders, get ready. We're going into price discovery, and it's going to get fun. We've waited all this time, it's going to get fun. But the XLM comparison is pretty interesting because over the last few days, over the last week, XLM kind of led XRP over the 1 to sort of 6 days, and it made back a lot of the ground. As you can see, it pumped here. It was 600%, and then it retraced back down and only sort of held 150% of its original move, where XRP sort of pumped almost the same amount and then held up in here, held up around 300%, where XLM, I was amazed, it made it back up in a couple of days, but it hasn't. It's now kind of given it back to XRP again, and it hasn't kicked in to go new all-time high. But looking at this chart, get ready, guys. If you hold XLM, you're going to go all-time highs pretty soon, I'd say.
Yeah. Now,
Sorry,
I know
Vince, what were you saying?
that in section A and then B, what did you mean by that?
So if they do, depending on if you want to look at, it's like the wave format. They do A, B, C retracement theory. So they move up in an A, retrace in a B, and then the next movement is up in C. And they do like 3 to 5 wave. I can't remember the exact theory. All the people that chart off be yelling at me going, it's this theory, it's this theory. I can't remember the name of the theory off the top of my head, but the way it works is A, B, C. You can go D as well, where you just climb. But so the A moves violent, retracement for B, and then typically the way it works is your C move can be twice as violent as this move here. So we can end up quite high for a C move.
Okay, so
sorry?
That chart we're looking at there, is that a daily or is that a monthly or a weekly?
That's daily XLM. And yeah, your weekly makes it look a little more interesting.
That is a significant jump in the last things. That's actually quite huge in the last little while. Yeah,
that's over your week. So sorry, I thought this was your all-time high. So apologies, XLM holders. You've got a little bit more to go before you hit your all-time high here, but you're on your way. You're not far off going into price discovery, which is going to be violent, guys. This is as all this consolidation here. This is your first big move. So this smaller wave pattern is also represented here in a bigger form. So we're now doing kind of this wave, but in a bigger form. So that's one here. We're going to go retrace A, B, and this is going to be C. So you're going to go up.
Yeah. Charting is always fun. I know that from various pieces and times when I've done it as well. But
the other big thing to watch here, and this is on your stochastics, and XLM's approaching it, but when XRP's already hit it, I'll show you what XRP is doing when it comes to stochastics, which is a very, very strong indicator for upward trajectory. So on a stochastic indicator, if you can see over here, you've got the lines tacked into 75. Once on this indicator, once this blue line goes above or hits the 75 and then goes above, volatility down here can become extreme. And you can see extreme price movements in this small amount here. So a lot of traders will be waiting for this line to hit here, and then they buy in here. And as you can see, price represented here. Once we hit above this line at 75, price exploded for XRP. And as long as we stay above that line, as long as we stay above this 75 marker here, XRP can just keep running and running and running, because this stochastic indicator keeps indicating that it's got a lot of momentum. And as long as this volatility doesn't tap out like it did down here, where it went volatile, stopped, and then tapped again, that signaled an end in volatility and a kind of end in momentum. And as you can see here, it pumped, and then it kind of just retraced for a while after here. Before we went into this next one. So that's a very big indicator here, where if you look at your XLM chart, we haven't hit 75 yet. We're only down in the 40s. So once this stochastic indicator starts to get up into here and it starts to approach 75, I mean, what for me, XLM is still indicating that it's a very good buy. That if you've got some money sitting on the sideline, it doesn't look like you've missed the train on XLM. You're still under 40. You're still, what is it? It's probably $1 now. What is it, Australian or you're still under 50 cents US, and you haven't hit where it's going to go extreme, where it's really going to move once it hits this line. So that's a good thing for XLM. But yeah, I just wanted to show the XLM XRP guys out there that are probably trying to figure out, shit, did I buy the right one or did I buy the wrong one? Should I got into both? What did I do? That we're both doing very well. XLM XRP is doing very well, and the momentum has now seems to have shifted back over to XRP, but which is showing in its relative inner strength against Bitcoin. Here you can see this is on a daily, and this is we had the pump back in September last year, or the end of last year, pumped up into here, and then we consolidated all for this year. And that's the trend line that we followed all the way down here. We played it all the way out, all the way down to here. And then once we get to this thing where you can see these trend lines meet, something's got to give. It's either got to go up or it's got to go down. And obviously we're going up in a market that we're in here. But yeah, that's probably enough for some price action like that. But as you can see, it's made up a lot of ground against Bitcoin in just a week. This is against it in Satoshis. And we're going to most likely, in a short space of time, start heading back up into these areas. And as you can see, there's not a lot of resistance here. Once we go past this marker here, and in Satoshis, you've got very little resistance, and then you're on your way up again. So it hopefully will be a great year for XRP. We'll wait and see. But yeah, if I don't know if you've got anything else you want to do, Vince, at the moment, unless you want me to just keep going with some stuff on X.
Well, Sandy's asked about XDC. So XDC is part of the Stellar network. It is one of the other tokens that's fairly prominent on that one, which is a reasonable coin, I believe, and their network is fairly strong and has been around for quite a while. I mean, it's 85 in the top 100, so that gives you a little bit of a hint, Sandy. And I'm just trying to think what its all-time high was. Give me half a minute while I'll just have a quick look at that. So Stellar, I mean XDC, basically got up as high as 19 cents. It's currently around 9 cents at the moment. So
wow, that's moved. I remember it got down to like 1 cent.
Yeah,
so
it's
that's
come
starting
up quite
to
a
move.
bit. Yeah. So it's been moving along as well. So I know, guys, we don't want to go too much into charting. This is supposed to be a pretty basic program, and I'm not a great charter, and I don't think Mark's a great charter either. But there's lots that we could show and bits and pieces, and we might do a bit of that throughout various shows. But you've got some news from America, I believe, Mark.
Yes, we can probably get into. Apologies, I can't find my other tab. Let me get out of this. I'll probably got to get out of the share, do I? And then share my other one? Is that how it works?
Yeah, you might have to do that. Peg's place there. There's so many cryptos nowadays, it's hard to know what's good. I have an ISO 2022 coins mainly.
That's a great start.
That's a good start. It's a really great start.
And your and your XDC, there's a guy called Quincy Jones. Any XDC people that are interested, look up Quincy Jones. He's a young developer that develops on the XDC platform. And he has a lot to say, a lot of positive things to say about XDC, XLM, and XRP. And he can really explain where XDC is going to go and what he's trying to do with it and what he expects it to do. Quincy Jones, he's a young American bloke. But yeah, look him up, and he will. I might even try and pull out some clips of him for next week or something if we've got time. But yeah, this one, where am I? Let's go make sure I'm in the right place. All right. If we want to go down a deep dark hole, we can do the 4 Satoshis later.
Yeah, I saw that.
That's always a bit fun. So yeah, as you can see here, we've got the Genius Act has passed. So that's legalizing your stablecoin kind of thing. But I'll let this bloke tell you, Treasury Secretary Besant. He'll tell you all about the Genius Act.
Don't forget to put your sound on.
Marks a seminal moment for digital assets and global dollar dominance, with President Trump signing the Genius Act into law. This bill provides the fast-growing stablecoin market with the regulatory clarity it needs to grow into a trillion-dollar industry. Stablecoins represent a revolution in digital finance. The dollar now has an internet-native payment rail that is fast, frictionless, and free of middlemen. This groundbreaking technology will buttress the dollar status as a global reserve currency, expand access to the dollar economy for billions across the globe, and lead to a surge in demand for U.S. treasuries, which back stablecoins. The Genius Act is a win-win-win for everyone involved: stablecoin users, stablecoin issuers, and the U.S. Treasury Department. I want to thank President Trump for his visionary leadership in shepherding this bill into law, and Congress for rapidly advancing this critical legislation. By expanding financial freedom and reinforcing dollar dominance, stablecoins will play a critical role in making America great again.
So exactly how's that gonna work? I mean, I always have a challenge with stable coins because of the fact that a stable coin is equivalent to an American dollar.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And,
so
this is where you're going to see RL. This is where RLUSD is going to really come into play.
But that's also supposed to be stable as well, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it'll be the predominant one. And in this next clip, this bloke from Coinbase drops a couple of hints that I'll talk about. That kind of in my eyes, it tells you what coin and what ledger they're going to use. But yeah, the stable coins, because they're backed by treasuries. That's how they're going to back them dollar for dollar. They're going to use treasuries to do it. But I'm pretty sure this is the clip where this bloke from Coinbase, this is the CEO from Coinbase.
There's a big consumer protection aspect to this. And the Genius Act is also very important just to update our financial system. I mean, many of your viewers may not know that every time they swipe their credit card, there's a 2% fee that the merchant does not even receive that money. And this is just bits of data flowing over the internet. We should be able to do this very inexpensively, anywhere in the world, instant payments. And that's what stablecoins are now allowing. It allows people to send the US dollar anywhere in the world instantly in less than 1 second for less than 1 cent. And that's a revolution to the financial system. There's a big consumer protection aspect to this. And the Genius Act is also very important just to update our financial system. I mean, many of your viewers may not know that every time they swipe their credit card, there's a 2% fee that the merchant does not even receive that money. And this is just bits of data flowing over the internet. We should be able to do this very inexpensively, anywhere in the world, instant payments. And that's what stablecoins are now allowing. It allows people to send the US dollar anywhere in the world instantly in less than 1 second.
Oh, sorry, we went twice on that.
So you're just trying to punch that message through, are you?
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure everyone heard it. So in that, he dropped a little hint where he said we should be able to do this kind of instantly, and now we're going to be able to do it in less than 1 second for less than 1 cent. And in my opinion, the blockchain that is the ledger that's ready to go that can do it in less than 1 second for less than 1 cent is XRP.
True. Okay. But here's the next question. How do you make money out of a stable coin? That's like taking your dollar and sticking it in the bank and then the bank paying you 0% interest on it.
Well, the treasuries make like 4% or something a year. I think it is minimum. So they do make they do yield. That's why that people invest in the bonds and treasuries, because they're essentially buying debt from America or from the US in return for 4 or 5%, I think it is, on the back end after the agreed time has passed, and they get paid back. I think it's paid back the money from the bonds plus interest. So they can make it, technically they can make a little bit that way. I have asked, I'll try and find a clip. I have heard some people talk about this a lot better than I can. I'll try and find the clip on that, exactly about how they're going to make the money. But technically they can do it from that. And it's, I think more what this is really going to help is like the accountability side of it, where now they can't just print money out of nowhere and into oblivion, because it has to be backed, and it's on the blockchain now, and it's going to be backed there, whatever stable coins they're using, which I assume is going to be RLUSD. There's been talk of Ripple buying out Circle, which is the other, I think is it USDC, is the other one that they use, but there's even talk of Ripple buying out Circle. So if they bought out Circle, then they've kind of got the two major players in the sector. But I'd assume we're going to what he's talking about is RLUSD on the XRP ledger. But yeah, interesting, very interesting happenings. Have you got anything else you want to add to that? Any thoughts
Today
on that one?
marks a seminal moment for digital assets and global treasuries.
Yeah, you pause him on that. I've always used a USDT or whatever if I want to take some profit out and just have it sitting on the blockchain so that I can buy back in at a later date, because it's a stable coin, it's a dollar for dollar mix. Now, obviously inflation and deflation and money markets plays a little bit in that, but while it's sitting there, it's very, I understand why we have a stable coin, because it's great when you're trading, but I don't understand how people make money and why people are so excited about it. That other than the fact,
it is interesting. I'm kind of a little bit baffled by it too. But the only connection I can see is that this is going to be the go-between between the real world and the cryptocurrency, the fiat system and the cryptocurrency system itself, is having a stable coin that can be backed or can act as a mediator or a kind of a bridge in a way, which is technically what XRP is being called a bridging currency, which is why I would assume they're going to XRP and the RLUSD will be used. That's definitely one big reason why I would assume why they're doing it, because it helps push it along. And now backing, because they're trying to say the big thing for we'll try not to go on too much of a tangent, but one of the big things they're trying to do is save the US dollar, because it's all the other countries are trying to compete now in a way. I don't think any of them think that they could be the US dollar, be the world reserve currency. Sorry, I don't think, but they'd be happy for the US dollar not to be anymore, and to take that power that gives them away from them. Whether they can do that or not, I'm not sure, but the US is definitely trying to hold on to that power. Where it might come down to, and I think that's possibly what's happening now, where if a ledger is used, like RLUSD, XRP, XLM on something, or Bitcoin on some parts too, that they can use that ledger to say, well, the US hasn't got control, we haven't got control, they haven't got control, nobody's got control. So if nobody's got control, that's better than the US or China or somebody actually having control, where they can kind of share it.
Ripple has control.
Yeah, well, it doesn't. That's people argue that. That's technically by law, they can't just use the escrow, though they could gift it to America. That's that thing where people could just say that's how they're going to save the US dollar, is gift the escrow to which I can find some clips on, which some pretty interesting things about people actually gifting things to the US, and it makes it easier to use. But they could gift it to the US. They then set the price, which then stops people mining Bitcoin and whatever and taking control of it through mining pools and basically mining the majority of it to take control of it. They can give the majority of it to the US government, set a price, and then it's so high that no other country can basically accumulate that amount of wealth to buy it back, which takes it out of there. But that's just a theory. I'd hope that comes into play, because then we're going to wake up one day and we're all just going to be rich just when they go, this is the price. But I can't. I'm not sure if that's going to happen. But that's one of the theories. I probably went way too far down the tangent pool there. I'll try and pull me back to what we were actually talking about.
Well, that it comes down to the thing with crypto is that it is a bit of like playing the stock market, etc. You're trying to buy a decent stock or a decent crypto that will make you some money, a bit like the silver and whatever. I had a comment from a gentleman yesterday who was talking about, self-managed super funds and, buying silver, and well, you haven't really done well if you bought silver. And I thought, well, that's not true. I mean, I bought some silver 3 years ago at $30 odd or $31 odd, and it's now worth 58 an ounce.
Yeah.
So it's like I've done pretty well out of that deal.
I'm the same.
Yeah,
I've smashed it with silver. I bought silver in 2016 at 2016 prices.
Yeah.
So I've like nearly tripled my money. I'm coming up on tripling my money. So it hasn't moved as fast as crypto. I definitely kind of wish I just put all that money into Bitcoin. Would have made heaps more money, but that's life.
Yeah, but that's having all your eggs in one basket.
Yeah,
you never want to
and
do
a plus
that.
is a plus. Like you got to take your wins.
Yeah, indeed. So it sort of, I said, oh yeah, but you still got to sell it. Well, yeah, you do, right? But that's the same as holding $1. You still got to go and spend it. So
and it's very liquid. Silver's very liquid. Don't worry about that. You can sell that. The guys that buy metal, they'll buy your silver real quick.
Yeah, indeed. So what more can you tell us about the Genius Act exactly? Do you know any more that little tidbits that are handy to know?
Did I have any more? I had
put the screen back up.
Yeah, put my screen. We've got Brad Garlinghouse's thing. Let's just at least read through this. He might give us something, a bit more tidbits. So this was just his post. The last major. I'm sure people know, but he's the CEO of Ripple. The last major financial regulation bill was passed 15 years ago in response to the 2008 financial crisis. Tomorrow, the signing of the Genius Act cements the US's future in being a leader in truly innovative financial technology, stablecoins. The moment is a historic one, and I, for one, am looking forward to all that is to come as a result of the transformational legislation. I suppose one tidbit would be, and thank you to the bipartisan leaders that got it done, blah, 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 blah. I suppose one tidbit would be, I heard one of the guys I follow talk about how this is technically the legalization of a brand new asset class, which hasn't happened in 100 years. It's a very, very rare thing to happen. So people getting in now have got in on the very ground floor of a brand new asset class where, this is technically stable coins, but this is technically also legalizing the bridge into cryptocurrency. And stable coins, what do they run on? Well, they run on blockchains. And what are blockchains? They're cryptocurrencies. So you've legalized cryptocurrency in a way here. And like I said, the RLUSD, they've technically legalized RLUSD now, and it runs on XRP, on the XRPL. So we've now got a brand new asset class that people can invest in that doesn't just happen every day. This will, in my opinion, I've heard people say, but I tend to agree with them. This will be bigger than the internet itself. that people think the .com boom was big. This is going to be much bigger than this, because this controls money. This is brand new money for the world. So I suppose that's a little bit of a tidbit you could take away. But yeah, it's this, like, I think I said this, I say it a lot on the last show. I think I said, don't think that you've missed out. Yeah, Bitcoin's a fortune. We might even have time. It might be a good time to have a look at why you might not think that you've missed out on Bitcoin. Because one of the questions that people ask, you haven't missed out on cryptocurrency. Yeah, you might have missed out on Bitcoin for it's expensive, but you might want to ask yourself, do I really want Bitcoin? Is it going to be the be all and end all of this industry? I don't think it will be. One of the questions that you need to ask yourself is, who is Satoshi Nakamoto? Who is he really? And one of the theories out there is that there's 4 of them. And this clip, so there's a theory out there, so that there's 4 of them, and that this lady, she is Agent Horn of Homeland Security. She spoke about in a thing. I think this is the clip where she talks about it, but she talks about how
we looked at Bitcoin,
how they looked at Bitcoin, and that they wanted to go and they wanted to know who Satoshi was, so they just went and spoke to them. And I'll play it on from here.
We looked at Bitcoin. It was the most prevalent at that point. We had seized quite a bit of it, millions of dollars worth, under the Silk Road investigation. So one of our agents who started looking at another online marketplace through the deep web, which was called Black Market Reloaded, they were sending weapons through packages and ordering them on the dark web. And he was really, really smart, forward-leaning agent. And he goes, I want to go interview Satoshi Nakamoto. And we're like, what? He said, yeah, I want to go interview this guy. And at the time, we're like, hey, it's a figment of somebody's imagination. Maybe it's true. Maybe it's not true. So, we had all this pushback from our headquarters. And we thought, hey, if an agent wants to go talk to him and we have some money, why don't we send him? Let's find out how this works. So as it came to be, the agents flew out to California, and they realized that he wasn't alone in creating this. There were 3 other people, and they sat down and met with them and talked to them to find out how this actually works and what their reason for it was. We looked at Bitcoin. It was the most prevalent at that point. So
this is her here. There's an article on her. It says Katie Horn's name. And it says Horn was recently appointed the Digital Currencies Crime Coordinator for Northern California as the U.S. Department of Justice leads a new multi-agency task force charged with looking into digital currencies that include the FBI, Secret Service, Internal Revenue Service, and Department of Homeland Security, based in San Francisco. Additionally, she will teach a course called Digital Currency and Cybercrime at Stanford next year. So she's a legitimate person. What she said is a legitimate thing to kind of listen to, because the question is, and tying it back to the Stablecoin Genius Act that just got passed, is if say big industry, big banks, whatever, hedge funds, if they technically don't know who Satoshi Nakamoto is and where Bitcoin actually came from, how can they honestly and legally say to their clients that they can say this is a sure bet, this is a fair investment, a smart financial investment, when they don't even know who created the coin? Where this lady says it's 4 people and they met them in California, so the government most likely knows who it is. So why haven't they told people, or did they make it themselves? There's a theory out there that they created Bitcoin as a way to get out of the US debt and bring this into market, so they can kind of create some kind of coin and go, here, we've just paid off our debt. That's one of the theories. But
I don't know if that one would hold up when you think about it, because the Bitcoin and other coins like this run totally independent to the current country's layout and such, because it's an independent system. It's not something that was controlled by them. So
yeah. But I'll find the theory about how they explain that. But they explain it kind of explains about that, where they've just basically, it's the perfect kind of the perfect ruse in a way to open up the avenue to get them where they need to go. But and that's why now having stablecoin legislation with the Genius Act, that's legitimizing and legalizing something where they know where it was created. They know RLUSD and they know XRP is created in the US by David Schwartz and a couple of cronies.
It works out that because of this now, crypto is going to be a lot more viable in the US, which it wasn't before. So you could not really purchase much over there, which is one of the reasons why Robinhood's little app went so well. But your thoughts on how long do you think this little bull market's going to run?
I think we're going to definitely go to the end of the year. I think we could definitely make it to September for sure. What's that, Q4? Is that technically Q4? Start of Q4? You usually see a sell-off in Christmas time, around New Year's, Christmas time, or we'll see the sell-off and then it'll kick back in after New Year's and pump again into 2026. I've definitely heard a lot of very credible chartists out there talking that we're going to see this go into 2026.
I think at best, just my guesstimation, and this is only my opinion, because remember, anything that we say on this channel is not financial advice. All right. So, but if we make it to January, I think that'll be about the end of the bull market, and then we'll head back to a bear. But not the bear is going to be interesting this time round because of the way with all the new ETFs, etc., that are in there, we're not going to see the same sort of layout or 4-year cycle that we've seen in the past. So a lot of cryptos will die quick and painful deaths, right?
Yeah.
So, but there'll be quite a few of the more stable ones, Ethereum, Bitcoin, XRP, BNB, Solana, those sort of things, and Doge, right? They'll be hanging around pretty much forever.
Yeah,
they've made their mark. They've made themselves stable businesses. So, but yeah, it's interesting. So at this stage, personally, if you've got a few pennies that you can spare, I'd throw it into buying a few things.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not going to tell you what to buy, but I would suggest that you stay well within the 100, the top 100, and that you look at what ones have been around for a while. So examine the charts and see if they've been around for, 4 or 5 or 6 years. Don't go grabbing one of those in the 100 that's only arrived in the last week. Okay, because that's not a good option. So
the ISO 20022 coins is a pretty good start. Like I always say, utility people, you got to look at utility. What does it do? It's got to do something. XD for me, the XD, the ones that start with X seem to be a pretty good buy at the moment. XDC, XLM, XRP, they seem to be not a bad idea. But yeah, utility coins for me, they're the main ones. I think they're the ones I think we might see the end of the 4-year cycle for, because having this new law come in, the Genius Act, that's just going to support that literally supports those currencies. So why would we see major dips in those currencies when they're now being legalized to do what they're supposed to do? Where, like you said before, we will see a lot die. So we're going to see the sorting of the wheat from the chaff. Is it the chaff? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, the chaff, yeah.
when you're
Come
going
on,
to
you
see.
city boy. Come on. Come on. Really? Don't know what the wheat from the chaff is? Come on.
I know the saying. I didn't want to stuff the word up and offend everybody and go, "You idiot," but I ended up there anyway. So we. But yeah, so I think we're gonna. This is where we're gonna see the where real world utility steps in, and I don't see XRP taking huge dives other than traders just doing their thing, whales doing their thing, but I can't see it just when people go, oh, it's going back to $1, it's going back, I can't see those kind of prices ever again.
Right. As most people know, I'm not a super XLM or XRP fan. But I also said I wasn't stupid and I bought some and could successfully say I'm up quite well on that now. Thank you very much. But there's been a lot of people and reputable agents talking about XRP. I mean, there's now talk that they're looking to getting into the real estate market as well.
Yeah.
How many bridges do you want to cross, guys, at once?
Yeah,
so,
they're cornering every sector of the cryptocurrency. They've kind of people need to look into Medico. They bought a company called Medico, and which is another leg of another industry where they've just acquired all these companies and doing it quietly, but they've done very, very well. And they're basically just cornering the market to set themselves up as that machine to be the new system. And it's I don't know, I can't tout it enough to just say, people, you got to just do your research. If you're still umming and ahhing, just keep reading and see what you can find. What was your point? What did you just say before? I've got a clip about it. What did you just say before? I'm trying to find
it. Getting into land and read it.
Here we go. I've got a clip if you want to.
I need to add you to stage and do that so everybody can see.
Beautiful.
He is the conservator of Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. He just posted on X, after significant studying and in keeping with President Trump's vision to make the United States the crypto capital of the world, today I ordered the great Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac to prepare their businesses to count cryptocurrency as an asset for a mortgage. Interesting, in the note, he then has a release from the FHFA, whereas cryptocurrency is an emerging asset class that may offer an opportunity to build wealth outside of the stock market and bond markets. Cryptocurrency has not typically been considered in the mortgage risk assessment process for the mortgage from mortgage loans delivered to the enterprises without converting that cryptocurrency into dollars. So he is now, this is not happening immediately, but he is directing Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac to prepare proposals for consideration of crypto as an asset for reserves in their respective single-family mortgage loan risk assessments. So that means that your crypto can back your mortgages. Now, this is an interesting play because there is actually a startup company called Milo, which already does this, and it's been slowly moving into the mortgage market in that way. Some people buy and sell in crypto on their own, but for Fannie and Freddie to use crypto as a backstop for their mortgages, that's going to be interesting going forward, as we know how volatile crypto can be.
No doubt, big debate around that too, and we'll continue to have it. Diana, thank you.
So yeah, they're legislating this stuff. That's not technically what Ripple getting into, but they are. I think we covered that the other week. But yeah, that's just legalizing, just saying now you hold cryptocurrency and you want to use it as an asset for your mortgage. It's legalized. Here's the bill if you want to. It's the Housing Finance Agency bill. If anyone wants to see the actual bill, I've got that there too. But yeah, it's sort of. We're going there. I think I had some more stuff. Is that kind of what you were leaning into when you were saying that, Vince? Is that what you were getting to, or are you talking more about specific Ripple stuff?
Just hang on, I'll see if I can actually find it. What I actually saw, it was specifically for Ripple.
Was that the Dubai stuff?
Give me half a second.
Because
trouble is when you have 455,000 emails coming in. Not that one.
Yeah, it's
Right. Real estate is in Ripple's crosshairs. Ripple is rapidly evolving its tokenization strategy, positioning itself to be at the forefront of the global transmission in real estate and financial markets. Through a series of high-profile pilots, Ripple is leveraging the XRP ledger, XRPL, and its new EVM-compatible side chains to tokenize real-world assets.
wow.
Right?
So that's kind of like the Dubai stuff that we were talking about.
Well,
That's kind of like the Dubai stuff that we were talking about, where they're just tokenizing the property and putting it on the ledger and allowing people to buy in for much, much cheaper than a $50,000 house deposit. They can get in for, I think it was $500, wasn't it, on the Dubai stuff?
Yeah, but you had to be a resident of Dubai to do that.
Yeah.
So, but it's sort of real world assets and tokenization and actually putting that stuff on the chain now is becoming more and more of a popular thing. And while there are a few companies out there that like to do real world asset, it's you have to take that with a bit of caution, right? Because anybody can say they have a real world asset and they're going to tokenize it, but is the asset actually real? Which is half of my challenge with QSI, right? Is the asset actually real? But big question mark with a couple more question marks and an exclamation mark, another exclamation mark. And Carl will hit me for that later. But anyway, someone like Ripple doing it, that's got credibility behind it. And that's what you're looking for. You've got to look at the company that's actually doing it and what their credibility is. So
all of their assets are backed by, I think it's BNY Mellon in America, which is the oldest, biggest company for what is it for is it sort of loans or banking in that? I can't remember. I've lost the exact word for what they do, BNY Mellon, but they're all Ripple's assets, anything that they have that they say is backed by, they're backed by not just 1-to-1, they're backed 1.15 to 1 or something kind of thing when it comes to their backing, and they're backed by BNY Mellon. Give me a second, I'll find out exactly who they are.
Yeah. So and yet look, here we are, we've been guest bagging, it's 54 minutes already.
We're doing well.
It just goes and goes and goes and goes. I was going to try and spend some time this week, last week, and sort of find the top 3 out of the various genres that we were talking about. For instance, DeFi, GameFi, AI, those sort of ones for a bit of a selection of coins. But unfortunately, folks, I didn't get there. Right. I got involved in other stuff and more other stuff, and as I said, I had this presentation to do, and still coming off of being crook, so I'm actually feeling quite good today. Oh, I did go see Superman today.
Is that good?
My daughter shouted me to go and see Superman. Right, I was down in Adelaide, so she said, "Oh, come along, Dad, we'll go and watch Superman." So I can do a critique on Superman, the new movie. Actually, it wasn't bad. Right?
That's good to
I
hear.
love Man of Steel, and I've watched this one, and it's got options. It can go somewhere. I would say on a par, it would be level with Man of Steel, right? But a totally different type of universe in it.
Oh,
which is
wow.
interesting.
Because they got a really bad record with the Superman movies, don't they?
Yeah. And this one
the
is
Batman ones are pretty good, but Superman are pretty average.
Yeah. It was actually quite good with Nathan Fillion in there playing Green Lantern's guy. What's his name? Guy, can't remember. But yeah, it was quite funny. There's some good laughs in it, and actually, I think crypto helps make the movie. So yeah, it was crypto being the dog, not crypto the money, right? So, but it was actually very, very good. So yeah, if you're an old Superman comic Superman fanboy like I am, because I'm an old fart, yeah, not too bad. Anyway, sorry, that was a total distraction. Got offline.
No, it's good to hear. Well, that gave me time to look up, so I don't sound like a absolute complete fool. That Ripple is backed completely by BNY Mellon, BNY Mellon, and they are they're an investment institute where basically I think they handle $50 trillion a year.
Wow.
It says so. They're $53 trillion they manage, and so they're the biggest and oldest financial service in America, and that's who Ripple uses to back their assets. So when they say they're backed, and so that'll go with RLUSD. Where Tether, you mentioned before, we can go down that road probably in a week or two, where that's going to run into some trouble. It's going to be, it's not going to be found compliant, and most likely not going to follow the rules that RLUSD can follow. I have a feeling that they just don't have it quite backed as what they say they have it backed. There's been a big conspiracy about that, they reckon. So it'll be interesting to see where that goes.
Yeah. Well, we might wrap it up for tonight, I think. Once again, I just want to remind everybody, it's going across the bottom of the screen, that the lottery for the Donkey Sanctuary, right? The Sanctuary 750 lottery is down there. We'd love to give that away. It'd be nice if that disappears over the weekend and we can have yet another winner. Maybe they could put their $750 in on a crypto. Well, I'm not going to advise them which one, but yeah.
Silver or gold, smart move.
All right. And out of that, I'm pretty sure that the donkeys don't like crypto, so they'd much rather have hay or, maybe something along that line. So, but it would be great if that could be go off. I'm not sure how many we've got left to go. It's only about 100 or something. Hang on, I'll just have a quick look. See, refresh here.
See, donkeys. We just need to teach donkeys about the utility. If we teach them about the utility, Vince.
There's 569 tickets sold out of 750. So that leaves about 181 left, I think, if my maths is correct.
Nice work. Good work,
so
guys.
It's going along, and hopefully that $750 will be able to be used for somebody, get them out of the poo or get them some silver or some crypto or whatever. Every time we get, I just love doing it. I love sitting there and going, oh, fantastic. And going, and sending $750 off. So, and also Voice of Freedom, we've got our jackets, right, which I'm busily hiding with the wrong arm. Right, Voice of Freedom with the FBN logo on the back. I've got it just about to place an order for that on Monday. So if you're looking to grab one of those, quickly chuck it in now and I'll put it in that order. And those that have already purchased, that will be coming out as soon as I get them here. We need to probably do something for ourselves at some stage. So Donna just said she got hers. Yep. Thank you.
Congratulations.
All right.
Hey? Congratulations again, Donna. Once again.
Yeah, Donna was our winner. Hopefully she had some tickets in this current lottery, so that should be interesting. Yeah. All right. So next week, all right, your homework, Mr. Mark, is to find well, I'll send you an email, but what we'll do is we'll try and split up the lists between DeFi's and GameFi and what's AI, etc., and see if we can find 2 or 3 promising cryptos that have been around for a while that may do well in this run. Now, we can't tell which ones are going to go, but we do know that when Bitcoin goes up and people start making money, they want to then get out of Bitcoin and diversify into other coins.
They want to make more money.
Yeah, they want to make more money. So a lot of these other coins, for instance, XRP, Doge, right? Those types of coins will start getting purchases. All of a sudden, their prices will start going up. So if you get in early, you too could be $1 better off per Ripple, because that's about what I am over the last 3 weeks out of the Ripple that I bought. And you can blame Mark for that. He talked me into it. I know. Sorry, I shouldn't say that. But Mark, you have a little young'un who will be thumping on the door any minute now.
He will.
So you better say see you later to everybody.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me, Vince.
Oh, well, you're going to have to still learn how to run this show on your own soon. So
yeah. I might have to. You can have a break a couple of nights to do it by myself.
So
they really want to listen to me ramble on for an hour. They'll have to say no more XRP, no more XRP.
Yeah, you do need to diversify your portfolio of speaking a bit, my friend. Yes, indeed. Right. We need to take lessons from Carl in that deep, dark voice that is such a nice thing that he does. And how he just words those things out. And I can't do a very good Carl impression, unfortunately. But anyway. I'm going to have to go back and watch that bit now and see what it sounded like. All right. Thanks, good, guys.
Have a good night.
I'm going to go. Actually, I shouldn't do that. The Waving Wonder is only for Carl's show. I'm not allowed to do that.
Right. Yeah, we've got to come up. We've got to get an actual sign off, don't we? We've got to come up with something.
We do. Hey, maybe we should give that as a challenge to the 7 viewers we've got that are watching. Right? In the comments, come up with a sign out for us. I mean, we can't use the 2 Ronnies. That's been used to death. Yeah, we need a sign out for Coin Toss.
Yeah.
So, where we can say, and it's goodbye from him and me, or it's, fair trading, or let's just have another go and toss it up, or I don't know, whatever. We need to do something.
Happy gambling.
Happy what? Gambling? Yeah.
Happy gambling.
Right. He's losing everything.
I nearly knocked the table.
Mark, thank you very much for tonight. We shall catch all of you again, all of you guys who watch us. So a whole 6 now. We lost one already. And we shall see you again next week at 8 o'clock South Australian time, 8:30 over in Mark's area of the world. And we'll try and come back with a few coins that may be interesting to watch, or even throw a few shekels at for the next couple of months. Right?
Yeah, that sounds like fun.
One thing I will say, always, whatever you put into crypto, make it is as money that you're prepared to lose. Right? Don't put your rent into it. So play safe. All right, guys, have a great night. See you, Mark.
Cheers, mate.